And now it's time for our last presentation of the night. We've got Scott Garner. The topic is, as you can see, event planning, RAGBRAI style. Why is RAGBRAI the oldest, largest, and longest bicycle touring event in the world? It's because of the great people in the great state of Iowa. If it weren't for Iowa hospitality, this ride would never have become the event it is. Scott Garner, Assistant RAGBRAI Director, will introduce you to how he works with the overnight host towns on RAGBRAI to plan and host this event.
Okay. Yep, go ahead. I know most of you, and probably all of you, like your job or love your job, and other than being a raft guide, working for RAGBRAI is the best job in the world. I have managed to parlay my love of cycling into a full-time position, and yes, planning RAGBRAI is a full-time job. I get asked that a lot, especially by my wife. She's like, really? You do that full-time? I've ridden RAGBRAI 15 years, most recently with the Dream Team. This is a group of youth from Des Moines that we take on RAGBRAI. And through this affiliation, I got to know both the current and past directors for RAGBRAI, and that's how I got the position that I'm in today. So it really is who you know, not necessarily what you know. I'd never been an event planner, so coming in and planning RAGBRAI was totally new to me. This is the RAGBRAI crew. There are 3 full-time employees, myself, the director, and then we also have a media and merchandise expert. We're all full-time. Then we have a part-timer who does our registration stuff. And then this is the RAGBRAI crew that works the week of RAGBRAI. And they just come and do just the week. They've been doing it for several years because they love it as much as I do. This is the expo, so this is the day before RAGBRAI starts. And this is one of my major jobs that I have to do, or get to do, I guess. I work with the bike shops and a lot of the vendors that sell cycling clothing, nutrition, tours, really a lot of different stuff, and that's what we do. This is kind of where RAGBRAI starts. The route announcement party is on January 24th, and that's where we announce the overnight towns. And this is a really exciting night because this is the best kept secret in Iowa. There's 2 of us right now that know the route, and that's it. No, I'm not telling you. I love my job. But anyway, so the towns don't even know that they're being chosen until that night. So they find out to the same time everybody else does. This is an example of one of the committees. These are the folks that really do all the work for RAGBRAI. These are folks that are from Rock Valley. And there's like 20 or 30 people that make a core committee group for an overnight town. And then they recruit a lot of other volunteers. Some of the work that the committees do include a website. They always have a website for each town. And this is the way for the town to communicate with the riders, with prospective vendors, to say what's going on in our town. And so we kind of give them ideas on what to do so that they can communicate to other folks. We spend a lot of time working with the committees. We meet with some committees on a as-needed basis. There's an entertainment committee, there's a beer garden committee, there's a transportation committee, so we meet with them at key points throughout the season to kind of guide them and help them make the right decisions to have a successful time like this beer garden is here. I work closely with the campground chairs. This is an example of one of the campgrounds. This is a charter on RAGBRAI, so this is just a small piece of RAGBRAI. That's just one charter. And so I work closely with the campgrounds to make sure they have enough camping space. We need like 60 to 80 acres of campable green space in the town in order to accommodate RAGBRAI. These are some of the folks that work RAGBRAI the day of. It's really neat when we get to the day, I just kind of get to sit back and watch these guys go to work. And it's neat because I've worked with them for like 6 months to prepare for RAGBRAI, to get things going, and then I get to sit back and watch them work, have fun. They all got smiles on their faces. They really enjoy doing it. One thing I do tell them though is to be flexible. You can plan, and you can plan, and you can plan, but things are going to not always turn out the way you thought they would. So I tell them, be flexible, think on your feet, be able to make decisions day of if need be. We had one instance where we had in the street, we're supposed to be food vendors, and there were cars parked in the street, and so we had to get them towed. Oh, was that this year's route? No, that's last year's route. Never mind. That's last year's route, sorry. The towns actually petitioned to be part of RAGBRAI. There's about 200 towns that are eligible every year, and they send us a letter and say, yes, we would love to host RAGBRAI, so come to our town. The roads are actually open to vehicle traffic, although you can't drive a vehicle down that road if you wanted to. But the roads are not actually closed to vehicle traffic, although it's, like I said, it's pretty tough to get a vehicle down there when the traffic is that thick. But that's one reason why we post the route, is so that people hopefully avoid the area that day. We do have Iowa State Patrol that monitors some of the major intersections. When we plan the route, we look for overpasses, or at a highway intersection, we'll look to see if it's wide open on either side, so cross traffic can see RAGBRAIs coming for quite a while. In town, a lot of the roads are closed because they'll have food vendors set up right in town, right on the street, and so they will close the roads in town. And the key to being a good pass-through town is to get folks off their bikes. So if they have to get off their bike and walk, that means they're going to probably set their bike aside, get something to eat, something to drink. So that is the key. One of my favorite pictures here. No, there wasn't anybody in the tent when it ended up on top of the steeple. But a sleeping bag might still be in there. The towns have their own crisis management plans that they publish. We work with them. But in case this does happen, they have a plan, and they get the lift out so they can get the tent down off of the steeple. The towns work with the food vendors. RAGBRAI does not make any of the money from the food vending, which is kind of a myth. Some people think RAGBRAI makes money off the towns. We don't. The towns do all the work with the food vendors. They charge them fees to vend. They work with the health inspectors. It's really the towns that make the money for RAGBRAI. RAGBRAI doesn't. Yes, there is beer on RAGBRAI. The towns do book all of the entertainment. This is last year. Brett Michael played Mason City. And some towns go really large. Some towns may go a little smaller. But the larger or bigger the band you get, the bigger crowd, the more beer you sell. So it's kind of a formula. But that was a huge crowd. The folks of Iowa, like the introduction said, are really what make RAGBRAI work. We could not do it without you guys, without the local townsfolk. They're the ones who put in the hours of volunteer time. They're the ones that host our riders in their homes. I've heard of people that will contact whoever's staying at their house. Hey, if you get there, I'm not home, go on in, take a shower. You know, the key's under the mat, go in, take a shower, make yourself at home, I'll be home later. It happens quite a bit. I love working for RAGBRAI. I've been doing it for a couple of years. I love the people that I've met, made some wonderful friendships. Last year in Rock Valley, a lot of those folks, sorry, I'm going to talk just a little bit longer. A lot of the folks that we met in Rock Valley are personal friends of mine now because we spent so much time together. And I don't know if you heard about Rock Valley, but they had major flooding right before RAGBRAI. So we kind of went through that together. And it's just neat that I can call those people friends. And I can't wait for RAGBRAI 43. Thank you.